What's the deal with school bread? And who's that orange bird? Why does Canada only have one restaurant? We're answering those burning Disney World questions you didn't even know you had today on DFP Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Disney World is huge and there's so much to take in and understand, and it is our job here at DFP Guide to make sure you know what you gotta know. Today we're tackling some questions that span discounts, delicacies, and HooptyDo Revue so that you don't have to wonder anymore. First up, why is Dole Whip such a cult classic? And who is the orange bird? Yeah, Dole Whip is winning like all of our throwdowns that we're putting up on our Instagram channel. It's kind of crazy. Like Aloha Isle won the best counter service. Dole Whip won the best snack or treat. And I think that it is just a cult classic that everybody seems to love, unless you hate it, because it's really love or hate. Anyway, Dole Whip and Disney may be synonymous these days, but in reality, you'll find Dole Whip at froyo stores, at zoos, and other amusement parks around the country. So why is it such a Disney thing? Dole Whip first came to Disney in 1986, joining the roster of pineapple juice and spears that were served outside the Enchanted Tiki Room in Disneyland. And the mid-'80s only introduced classic pineapple. Now there are lots more flavors like orange, strawberry, lemon, raspberry, lime, and mango, along with a few others we've spotted around the parks and resorts, like cherry, coconut, and pistachio. We've come a long way from simple pineapple on pineapple floats, or just pineapple Dole Whip in a cup. There's Fomosas, Kakamaro floats, and spiked Dole Whips, not to mention the crazy amount of Disney merch that's built up around the frozen treats. The Enchanted Tiki Room and Sunshine Tree Terrace in Magic Kingdom were sponsored by the Florida Citrus Commission before Dole took over, and that sponsorship included the commission's mascot, Orange Bird. In the 1970s, Orange Bird was actually a character that would walk around the park and greet guests. The Sherman Brothers, known for writing the theme music for It's a Small World, plus plenty of other Disney classics, also wrote the Orange Bird theme song. While the Florida Citrus Commission is no longer the sponsor of the Tiki Room, you'll still see plenty of Orange Bird merch all around Disney World just because, like Dole Whip, this mascot has become a cult classic. Okay, next up, why do people like school bread so much? Well, school bread is another long-loved classic that's become a staple for many Disney World visitors. But some people, including some on our team, just don't quite get the hype. You're going to find this in Epcot's Norway Pavilion at Kringla Bakery Og Cafe, and it kind of looks like a hamburger bun topped with shredded coconut and cream. So what's the big deal and where did it come from? Well, it's a classic Norwegian snack which kids took to school in their packed lunches or parents sold at bake sales. So it's a fun, authentic treat you can get while you're touring the countries and world showcase. Now, it's not super sweet, which is probably why it's the perfect dessert for a lot of people. The bread here is a cross between a cinnamon roll and a dinner roll, and it's filled with a sweet vanilla custard, and the icing and coconut on top give it some extra sweetness, but again, not too much. If you're not a coconut person, you probably won't get the hype, but if you're looking for something a little less sugar-filled than all the cupcakes you're probably eating on your Disney trip, then try out this old school favorite and let us know what you think. Now, I don't know if some of you will remember, but I used to do what I called Foodie Fest every year, where I had a private event that you get tickets for to come to an Epcot fireworks viewing location, and I catered it with all of my favorite treats from around the Disney parks, and school bread was one of them. And when Disney brought in the school bread for the night, it was just dinner rolls. Like, there was no custard, there was no icing, there was no coconut, it was literally just dinner rolls. And so what we ended up having to do is, I think some of the event staff had to drive backstage over to Kringla Bakery and buy out their entire stock of school bread and bring it to my event because we'd paid for it, but we didn't have it. And so they had to do that. It was so funny, but love me some school bread. It's really, really good. All right, next question that needs some explaining. Why don't we get plastic straws anymore? Well, Disney's making some serious strides toward reducing plastics, but that means you won't be finding plastic straws around Disney World. So in an effort to reduce waste and reach long-term sustainability goals, Disney's gotten rid of the plastic straws, the cup lids, and many single-use in-room amenities. You'll still be able to find paper straws, but if you're picky about how you enjoy your beverages, consider packing a reusable straw in your park bag so you don't end up halfway through a slush or iced coffee with a straw that can't handle the task. You will spot some reusable straws around the parks to purchase. There are little packs that come with several straws and a little brush to clean them, or you may see some character straws around some food kiosks. You won't see any of those awesome Mickey-shaped swirly plastic straws anymore. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. We haven't seen these since mid-2018, back when plastic straws were still around the parks, and we'd seriously love them to come back, but we understand why they're not there anymore. All right, next question. Why are some meals 2 credits on the Disney dining plan? At its simplest, the Disney dining plan is a way to prepay for your food on your Disney vacation, but things can get complicated pretty quickly. There are different tiers of the dining plan, which give you different credits that you can exchange for meals and snacks. There are credits for snacks and quick service meals, as well as table service meals, but then some of those table service meals cost more than just 1 table service credit, which might leave you scratching your head. Like, why is it like that? Basically, price. Meals that are considered 2 credits on the Disney dining plan are more expensive. Typically, they're character meals. Chef Mickey's and Cinderella's Royal Table are both 2 credits. Or fine dining restaurants, or as Disney calls them, signature dining restaurants, like California Grill or Le Cellier. The out-of-pocket costs for these restaurants are higher. Buffets are usually around $60 per adult, and a la carte entrees can run from $32 all the way up to $72 at a 2-credit restaurant. So if you're trying to get a good value out of that 2-credit meal, opt for the higher-priced items on the menu, like the $72 lobster at Narcoossee's. Next question, is free dining the best deal at Disney World? So free dining is definitely the most popular deal at Disney World. The booking window to get you the deal is typically shorter, and hotel rooms will go quickly, so you want to make sure you do your research before the deal is announced so you know whether or not to grab it when you see it. Free dining is a promotion that Disney runs once or twice a year where you get a free Disney dining plan with your vacation package. That package requires a hotel room booked at full price and park tickets for everyone on the reservation. You won't be catching any savings on the rest of your booking, but you'll be getting those dining credits for free. Disney has definitely priced this one out, so in the long run, you're not really getting all your meals for free. You're paying more for your room, and things can sort of balance out. That being said, you can save hundreds of dollars with the free dining deal, but it takes a lot of planning and number crunching. In our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, we've done the math and broken down where and when you'll find savings from this deal. It is one of the best deals in Disney World for sure. You want to compare the other deals Disney's offering at the time, though. You might actually save more money by going with a room discount rather than the free dining deal, particularly if you're traveling with younger kids who don't eat big meals, or you've got family members that eat vegetarian, typically the lowest price items on the menu. So best deal? Maybe. It depends on your family. The most popular? Absolutely. Crunch those numbers, and if you're planning a trip for August, September, or even January, be on the lookout for the free dining promo. This is when Disney has run free dining in the recent past. And know that if you already booked, you can usually apply the deal to an existing reservation as long as it's still available. So even if you've already booked, if free dining is announced, you can call Disney and ask to be switched over to the free dining deal. You can rebook your vacation with the free dining deal. Again, as long as it's available at your resort hotel. Why do I need to make a reservation 6 months in advance? Well, you don't have to. There are plenty of restaurants at Disney World that will still have last-minute reservations. We have a whole video about that. But if you want to dine at a few really popular restaurants, you're going to want to make that reservation as soon as you possibly can. Disney opens reservations for restaurants a full 180 days in advance, and while not every restaurant gets booked up that early, there are a few that do. Chef Mickey's, Cinderella's Royal Table, Dinner at Be Our Guest, California Grill, Le Cellier, Victoria and Albert's, they're all popular restaurants that tend to book up really far in advance. We recommend doing the research on which table service restaurants you'll want to dine at as early as possible so that if one of those hard-to-get reservations is on your list, you're prepared and don't miss out. We have lots of videos with reviews on all the restaurants in Disney World, or if you want something a little more convenient, you can grab a copy of our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining. Not only do we break down the Disney dining plan for you, we've got reviews of every single restaurant along with tips to help you decide which one is best for you guys and how to snag that reservation once you decide. You can pick up a copy over at dfbstore.com. Now, if you're staying at a Disney hotel, you'll get a little jump on the competition. You can book your whole trip 180 days out from your check-in day, and everyone else will need to make them day by day. So did you get that? whole trip can be booked 180 days out versus having to call back day after day after day to make reservations for each subsequent day. You want to be up early too. You can make an advanced dining reservation at 6 a.m. Eastern online or through the My Disney Experience app, or starting at 7 a.m. Eastern if you call the reservation hotline 407-WDW-DINE. But remember, a lot of restaurants don't book up at that 180-day mark. So if you're not trying to get into any hot spots, then you have a little time to relax. There are plenty of restaurants that usually have last-minute reservations, like Olivia's Cafe at Old Key West, Grand Floridian Cafe at the Grand Floridian Resort, mostly ones that are tucked away in the resorts, though Skipper Canteen's right in the Magic Kingdom and often has open tables the day of. There are also plenty of lounges around Disney World that don't take reservations, which are perfect when you don't want to be tied down by dining reservations. Our favorites include Nomad Lounge in Animal Kingdom and the Brown Derby Lounge in Hollywood Studios. These usually have full food menus, or at least large enough options to make a meal out of. Kids are totally welcome as well. So moms and dads, if you guys know that your kid's nap schedule is a little bit erratic, or they're a little bit erratic, and you probably aren't going to be able to hold down those dining reservations without having to pay that cancellation fee. I'm saying this because this was me. I paid so much money in cancellation fees because my kiddo's nap schedule was kind of wonky. Then plan to go to the lounges. They're great. They're delicious. They're super chill and relaxing. And again, those kids are totally welcome there. Okay, so why does Canada only have one restaurant in Epcot's World Showcase? Now, this one's a little bit of a personal pet peeve, but seriously, in Epcot, the Japan and France pavilions both have lots of restaurants, and France is getting a new creperie in the near future. So why does Canada only have Le Cellier as the single restaurant option in that pavilion? You might think it's because Japanese and French food might be considered a little more popular than Canadian cuisine, but I promise, if there were a poutine counter service location, it would have lines all day long. Do you guys remember when they used to have the Beaver Tail counter service location over there in Canada? Yeah, it was awesome. So what's the deal? It goes back to when Epcot opened. All the original pavilions that opened in '82 were financially backed by private companies hailing from those countries, with the exceptions of Canada and China. You might know the name Mitsukoshi. It's the big store that takes up nearly all the Japan pavilion, but it's actually the group behind all the restaurants in the pavilion as well. And Mitsukoshi is actually a department store in Japan, like Nordstrom's in the US. All of the restaurants in the France pavilion are operated by the Bocuse family. In both instances, there's money and expertise backing the restaurants in the pavilions. But in Canada, well, the Canada pavilion was fraught with tension from the start. The Walt Disney Company sought funding for the pavilion from the Canadian government, but Canada rejected the plans Disney had for the pavilion, saying that the designs were too stereotypical, and Disney built it anyway. So in short, the lack of financial backing from the Canadian government or from corporations has resulted in the meager offerings in the pavilion. Luckily, most of the time we can get poutine at the refreshment port before heading into the Canada Pavilion, and of course they do have poutine on the menu at Le Cellier. So why is the HooptyDo Revue such an important piece of Disney history? HooptyDo Revue at Fort Wilderness is the longest running dinner show in America. It's been around nearly as long as Disney World. The dinner show opened in 1974 when it was just 6 college students on a summer internship, and the show wasn't expected to stick around very long. But in 46 years, things haven't really changed much. You'll still get buckets of fried chicken, get to wave a napkin around while you enjoy some vaudeville-style comedy. There's only been 2 changes to the show throughout the years. The original dessert was an apple pie, which switched to strawberry shortcake in 1979, thus changing Apple Pie Hoedown to Strawberry Shortcake Walk. More notably, in 2011, Disney was sued over a copyright claim on one of the show's opening songs. It was a parody of HooptyDo performed by Perry Como, which Disney had never officially secured the rights to perform. So why did it take 35 years for that lawsuit to come up? Well, that's when the song's composer, Milton DeLugg, went to see the HooptyDo Revue. Ironically, he loved the use of the song in the show, but publishers who now own the rights to the song weren't so happy. Disney settled the matter privately and the song was replaced. So why is HooptyDo Revue such an important part of Disney history? It's basically like stepping into a time capsule. Things are always changing at Disney World, so it's rare to find something that's pretty much untouched from opening day. This show is one of the closest things you're going to find. So there are a few burning questions we knew you wanted to know the answers to. Don't you feel smarter now? Don't you feel like you know more about Disney World? Thank you guys for listening, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ from Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.